Hello, I'm Bouazi Yessoh. Welcome back to the Bronx Channel. One might think that dancing is just executing dance steps to the sound of music, but it's much more than that. In a bilingual book titled Unveiling Motion and Emotion, dancer, choreographer, and professor Anabella Lenzu explores and explains the profound relationship between music, motion, community, choreography, and pedagogy. And do you know what? She does it in English and Spanish. Professor Lenzu, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so delighted to have you here. Yes, after more than 20 years of experience, 1998, you were already the director and you founded that wonderful magazine, Nexos de la Cultura Bahiense.
Yes.
And why only now did you decide to write a book?
Well, I feel that's a part of an educator, and and after living in Argentina and Chile, then in Italy and United States, I need to put these experiences in a book. I need to be a bilingual book. So the next generations, the new choreographers, the prospective teachers and dancers, they have tools what is to be a freelance teacher, choreographer, and dancer around the world, and what is to be, what is the role? What is the big questions? Why and how and to who you're working for. So that's the necessity to share, something that you love so much, and it's like a continuation. And I started to write in 1998. I direct my own magazine in Argentina for 3 years. And this was a challenge because I was not experienced as a journalist before, directing this magazine that, I alternate, and, we have another collaborators for dance, for theater, for opera, and for dance. Exactly. So, it was an idea to bring art to all the population. Sometimes in South America, art is just for a high society. And what we want to bridge that, what is, the audience and the artists. So I started to write in 98, and I didn't stop. I did some collaborations from Spain, and I did some collaborations in Argentina while I was in Italy. And then finally came the moment that I have the time after being an immigrant in New York to write the book.
Good. So how long did it take you to write that book? 2 years.
2 years.
Okay, and what actually was the trigger moment that pushed you and really gave you the inspiration to start writing it?
Well, after being an immigrant and living in New York City for 4 years and work as a faculty, I work here at Lehman College and at NYU and Sarah Lawrence and Wagner College. You see all these different communities with people from different parts of the world, and I feel that they need a guidance beside what is the technique, beside when I teach dance history and dance criticism, something that gives them hope that, when I was 18, 19, I read all the dance books that it was possible and impossible in Argentina. And it was these autobiographies that inspired me to open my wings and come to the United States and go to Europe and explore and find my own voice. But it was these books, Sometimes it's a teacher, a mentor that I have and wonderful teachers, but it was much more for me the intellectual part. This book that inspired me, and I see the person, the artist working at the same time, try to build your life and your career.
Sure. You title it Unveiling Motion and Emotion. Why this title?
Well, I have, like a 3 set of different titles. I put a vote in all my students for 1 year. They decide and they vote that because they say that my teaching is about revealing who you are, about the emotional aspect and the movement. Sometimes when we dance, the movement make the emotions come out, but sometimes it's the emotion that provoke. So that's my whole line and my whole discovery and my whole challenge as a choreographer and as a writer as well.
So how do you portray those community issues in the choreographies?
Well, after 23 years of teaching and choreographing, it's a self-discover, and at the same time it's discover with who you work in, and it's a team. The community starts with the teacher and the student, with the choreographer and the dancer, and how we can give the 100% of ourselves, how we can grow as a person and as an artist, because for me, this go in a parallel line.
So in your book, you wrote, "Dance underlies all I am." What did you really mean by that?
I don't imagine myself without dancing at all. Since I have memory, since I have 4 years old, I was dancing in the patio of my grandma in Argentina, and I remember getting in trance. I remember like going out and don't connect it with it was. So, you know, in a way, I feel that I don't have a choice. And I'm not the only one reading. It's like you don't have a choice. It's like I've been dancing from an eternity. Maybe in another life. Maybe I will continue.
So now that you're pregnant, how do you do? What kind of dance step you can do? What kind of techniques you cannot do? Tell us about it.
Well, now, you know, it's my second pregnancy, so it's tough for a dancer because we feel things that other people doesn't feel. So I can every little detail, and I feel the baby that is also dancing and forming. So, you know, it's tough. Sometimes I don't want to move because I'm so tired. But sometimes it's in the dancing that you feel like I'm alive. You know, and I share something else. It's the dancing of life.
Okay. In your third chapter, when you talk about bad influences, the way we're reading it, it doesn't really look like bad influences, but why did you choose to write it that way?
Well, I have one chapter that is my bad influences because I'm Argentinian. And as an Argentinian, we are very critic about the society, about the system. And my formation in Argentina was like that. My high school was very critical. Most of my art teachers was artists. And they teach us how to look at the system and really understand it and don't buy what they sell you on TV. You know, just to think about yourself. So I play with these, my bad influences, and I name Eduardo Galeano, one of the writers, amazing poet and writer from Uruguay, and he's a very political point of view. So, you know, when I start to talk about dance and what this means dance, I start to, you know, connect with another artist from another fields. And these are my bad influences that they put me this legacy of be a rebel, you know.
Okay, so would you tell us about one of your most embarrassing moments that you actually mentioned in the book?
In the book, I try to have bittersweet, comic stories, embarrassing moments, and, you know, and all of them, they teach you something. I feel that the most embarrassing moment when I was a Sonorian member, and I say that and everybody's, and every time I teach choreography, I say it. I was sitting in Argentina, and as an audience, it was a dance competition, and I see this beautiful, like 10 girls, 12 years old, with white dresses and kind of silver pom-pom doing some jazz choreography. And then I start, after 10 seconds after, I start to hear the music. Ti, 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 and say many, many bad words in English. I was mesmerized what I'm hearing. And I look at my husband, he's American, and I'm like, I'm hearing well? Yes. And they give the second prize of competition. Wow. You know, and this happened a lot. It's like we are dancing things that we don't know what they say, we don't know what they mean, we are using another cultures and we don't respect another cultures. And this and many other things, you know, like with the languages and, you know, and the censure of the body. I remember teaching in Atlanta, and we was for the Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'm invited with my company, and we dance, and I show also a video. And in the video, we was moving the bat, and the director came over and turned off the TV, like it was impudent, move your bat. And it was like, I was like, where I am, I'm in the United States, you know. So I put these things just a way to learn how an artist or a teacher need to mold the pen of the societies. And you need to change your speak. It's not the same thing when you teach in primary school, secondary school, and college. Or when you talk with a professional, with your peer, you change your language, you adapt. And art is about that, to be able to be adapt. And for me, that is intelligent, you know, how to communicate, truly.
Okay. So what do you expect people what message do you expect people to get from your book after reading it?
I think inspires, you know, get inspired and find your own voice, you know. When I did a book presentation in March of this year at the Argentinian Embassy, it came a dancer that she used to dance for one of the pioneers and great choreographers, American choreographers, Anna Sokolov. And she came to me after the show. I didn't met her before. And she said, Anabella, Anna Sokolov, we will love you because you have balls, she told me. You have the energy to say, and I'm like, well, that's why we're alive, and that's our mission, you know, to why do this big question, why we are here, and what is our sense of service with the people, with the community, and with the art field.
Sure. So any plans for any more books to come in the following years?
Yes, we keep going with the presentation of the book through 2013, 2014, and after the baby come, I'm gonna start to write a book that will take me probably 5 to 6 years, but it's about technique.
So Anabella, tell us, how do you deal with those many issues in your choreographies?
Well, I feel that my role as a choreographer is also to speak about issues in the community. 2 years ago, I choreographed a show that it was called The Grass is Always Greener, and it was about being an immigrant in New York. So I did extensive research, not just about Ellis Island and the first immigrant coming into New York City, but also I was a research about immigrants and their voices, and hear voices today. So my dance company, Anabella Lenzu Dance Drama, what we try to do is talk about the society, talk about the issues and the problems, and mix dance and theater. So that's my company. It's dance, theater, dance, drama, to involve that. But you know, sometimes it's so much powerful to see a show about immigration and create a debate afterwards that just to speak up, you know, because a movement can mean so many things and could be so powerful. At this time, you know, my whole cast, my whole company was all females and all Americans that they never live abroad. When I talk about myself being deported for the United States in 2001, what I talk about all these voices, they start to realize also as an American what it was the role in the society. So
very good.
yeah.
So where can we reach you, and how can we get that book? Because we know that we want to read it, people we want to read it, so please can we have all your contact information?
Okay, of course. So you go to my website, www.anabella, with double L but not double N, anabellalenzu.com. And if you want to get the book, it's anabellalenzu.com/book, and you can purchase online. And yes, you know, it's open to everybody, and you can see the shows, the teaching workshops that, you know, and be in contact. You know, we love people. We love to share. So
thank you so much, and thank you for being our guest. We will be back with more of the Bronx Journal.